Hello and welcome to the desk here on Global Television. My name is Godwin Sunday. In Nigeria, actors' conditions are evolving with a push for professionalization and unionization and to address issues like exploitations and lack of regulations. Well, the Actors Guild of Nigeria is working to implement a licensing system to ensure actors are eligible for benefit and to streamline the industry. But how far has this been when it has to do with what the welfare of Nigerian actors? Well, joining me to x-ray and access the Nigerian Actors Guides and the welfare of actors in general in Nigeria is the president of Actors Guild of Nigeria, the person of Dr. Emeka Rollas. But first, you're welcome to the desk.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, so let's delve into the conversation right away. A lot of concerns have been raised even within the acting space, but so far so good. How will you assess the Nigerian actors, the welfare?
Well, for me, I will not say it's not yet time for assessment. Reason is that from the onset, it looks like majority of the players do not know what they are doing or their earlier reason for becoming actors. And once you join a profession just only for passion, not understanding that there is a labor, that you are working to get paid. And any person who is working to get paid must of course know that there are regulations, there are guidelines for such profession. Then you lose it completely. And that's what happened to a lot of actors who are practicing. By the time you sell your talent, your gifts to some other person, and that person is using that talent and gift, making money everywhere in the world. You cannot fight it. You don't know how to go about it. Now, the situation becomes that the very few who become lucky becomes the ones that will be enjoying their gift and talents. And then the other ones will feel that, well, they have not gotten to that peak well enough. And that's where the job of the guilds comes in. The Actors Guild of Nigeria was established 30 years ago. We are affiliates of the Federation of International Actors, FIA, with headquarters in Brussels, in Belgium. We are also having very good twining relationship with the Screen Actors Guild of America, SAG-AFTRA, and British Equity, and just recently, the South African Guild of Actors. We are all co-affiliates of this FIA. And then, as unions who are under FIA, we have direct relationship with international labor organizations where we pick up guidelines on how to deal with our members in terms of labor. For here in Nigeria, a lot of actors or a lot of people think that Actors Guild of Nigeria is just one of those associations. It's not. The issue here is that you as an actor, do you know your worth? Do you know what you're worth to get from a particular job you have done? In Nigeria, it is surprising that most streaming platforms, most pay TV platforms are the ones that will buy a film from a producer and seize all the rights concerning that film, collect all rights. Now you have empowered them to sell your film anywhere in the world without your input if you're a producer. This is ignorance. The same thing with the actors. How can a pay TV platform in Nigeria take your work from Nigeria and televise it in over 62 countries of the world? And you are here, dying in penury. You are in Nigeria, wallowing in ignorance. And you are an actor, so to speak. And you go different places in the world, Time Worlds, New York, you see your billboards spreading everywhere. People are making money from these things. But you don't know. You're in Nigeria. And now there is a guild that you ought to be in. You ought to nurture. You ought to be part of its progressive nature. So you know where the future is. And that is why most people will be in the industry for many years, featured in over 200 movies, and they have nothing to show for it. Why? Because we do not have entertainment lawyers practicing very well in the country.
Quite interesting. But let's look at the guild in itself. Is it region-centric? Because also the Actors Guild of Nigeria, it tends to be a guild that is largely dominated by people from the southern part of Nigeria. I want to ask at this point, are the people from the northern part of Nigeria excluded from the guilds?
No, I will just give you two straightforward answers for this. In the first place, Actors Guild of Nigeria, we are present in 34 states of Nigeria, and we're 36 states. That, of course, settles you that is not region-centric, as you mentioned. Number two, the arts in itself, from a TV angle, has a region that is more in number. You understand?
Okay.
It's just like if you say you want to do BDC, Bureau de Change now. Of course, you cannot find many Bureau de Change people in the South. Even if you have to find them, it will be the same Northern people. So the business itself has religion, because a lot of Northern people believe that their religion may not automatically give push for screen business. So that's why it's like that. That does not mean we don't have Actors Guild in Nigeria in Kano, we have in Kaduna, we have in Zamfara, we have in Katsina, we have in Benue, we have in Nasarawa, we have in Borno, we have in Adamawa, we have in Bauchi. Do you understand? But yet, then again, you need some of these governors to understand the growth and the benefits inherent in the creative economy. Because today, I will tell you the truth, it's only about Lagos, Delta, Enugu, and maybe Port Harcourt that are enjoying from the benefits of the creative economy. Some of these northern governors, they need to, look deep into that angle and see what the creative economy has to, to offer them. Then, when you see people trying to regionalize the culture, the craft, or the entertainment, telling you they are Kane wood, they are Yoruba wood, they are Igbo wood, this also stems from the issue of ignorance, which I earlier mentioned, because a film is a language on its own. Before the advent of Nollywood, we were watching Indian films without understanding what they were speaking, and we could tell the story. We were watching Chinese films. So people who came and tried to use region to divide practitioners are the people who also helped in killing the industry more. Because tomorrow, people tell you that I'm a member of this, that, but I'm here. That's the wrong thing, because in the movie industry, there are professional associations that must be respected. And that is the Actors Guild, the Producers Guild, the Directors Guild, the Creative Designers Guild, the Editors Guild. These are professional guilds that is practiced globally. Any other name coined by anybody in whatever guise is trying to either use region to deal with some people he or she doesn't like, or maybe use one name because our registration processes in the CAC makes it open for people to just come and register whatever they want to register without minding what that sector says. And at the end of the day, we now have proliferation of associations here and there that is giving us problem in the creative sector. And as long as we continue like this, without government or ministries who are involved sitting tight to say this is how this industry should operate, if you cannot operate through these professional associations, you leave the industry. Then we'll have peace in the industry.
All right, so let's talk about in terms of the welfare of members of the guilds.
Okay.
In general.
Okay.
We've had quite a number of cases where actors and actresses within this space will come out on social media to lament the fact that they are not feeling fine, or they are ill or they're unable to afford some kind of lifestyle that they've been able to portray in a movie through a make-believe. We've seen all of this play out in the social media space. I want to find out from you, at what point does the Actors Guild regulate and ensure that it creates a balance between the make-believe and the actual life of an actor, ensuring that there is a balance so that actors don't get to fake it even in real life?
Okay, now you started from the point people come on social media either trying to say, okay, we don't have funds to take care of our health and all of that. Because, for instance, they have lived this life in the film, and of course, when they are out of film and they fall sick originally now, they can't take care of themselves. It boils down to what I earlier explained about ignorance of where you belong to. If you're a member of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, for instance, once you register as a member, your registration, of course, covers an insurance cost. Then once you register as a member, you sign up for your HMO. This HMO enables you access to about 600 hospitals in the country. And the 600 hospitals in the country which is signed up for the HMO are also broken down in a way that you can port from this state to another state. For instance, if you're filming in Lagos as an actor, but you originally live in Abuja, and you fall sick in Lagos, all you need to do is to put a call across to your provider and say, I'm in Lagos, but the hospital that is taking care of me is in Abuja. They will port you from a hospital in Abuja, put you in Lagos. But whereby you are ignorant of what is obtainable, becoming a member of the Actors Guild, you'll be operating without being a member. You'll be operating without license. And when you fall sick, you can't access any of these benefits. And then your only option will be to come on social media and begin to rant. And once you start, you begin to say, what is AGN doing for me? AGN cannot do anything for you if you're outside the fold. So it's just strictly. And that's why we began to say, okay, very soon we're beginning to license actors so that we know who are members, as it were, in the country, who are supposed to access these benefits as we put them within the guild. Every guild has a constitution. So it's for actors to know that we have this, we have to be involved in this. It's just like a Christian who doesn't know what he wants from God. And you'll be working not knowing that you just speak a word from the word of God and you get this. So when you don't know those things, then the devil will, of course, use you to do anything he likes.
In the field, many actors, we get to see a lot of actors spring forth in Nigeria. And on the field, are there AGN task force or regulators to ensure that before a movie is being produced, that guarantees of lives of the actors are top-notch priority even before the movies are being produced? Then in the course of producing the movie, are there also modalities being put in place by AGN to guarantee the safety and also the more of the aftermath effect of this movie, the psychological impact of this movie on the actors? Are there provisions by the AGN?
Yeah, in real life setting, when a film is being produced, we have task force in all the state chapters. And then what this task force first of all do is to ascertain among the cast on this project who are union members. If we ascertain that there are 5 or 6 non-union members, they will inquire, why are you not union members? The producer may say that, well, they are just new people that we're bringing forth. And they'll say, okay, fine, before you go on this set, these are things you need to do. But before then, like normal Nigerians, people abuse most of all of this. Because, of course, when the main task force is not there, there is a lot of compromise. It happens maybe in the Nigerian police force or in the force that has people around the states. You may be obeying the constitution here in Abuja, but when you get further down, everything begins to change. But one thing that hit us, even as a guild and as Nollywood, was the death of Junior Pope. Principally, if you look at that accident, the late Junior Pope, blessed memory, had an 80% part in that his death. Because at his level as an actor, he ought to have asked for a life jacket, whether it was provided or not. And if they didn't provide, he will insist, I won't get on the boat unless this is provided. Take me to anywhere. And of course, nobody will hear that and support the producer. But when that thing happened with four other members of the crew, it hit us that there are areas we seem not to be taking very seriously. And I immediately set up a committee to work on the code of conduct. That committee was headed by veteran actor Emeka. It took them 1.5 months to come up with a standardized code of conduct for any movie. And that code of conduct has immediately been enshrined in the Constitution of the Actors Guild. Now, we have passed it as a law. If an actor comes on any set, you must first of all identify risk factors for safety and ask questions. If you are supposed to jump down from this first story down here, maybe you're supposed to use a double, you will ask for the double, ask for the access, and then all of this is important. And then we say, once you ask these critical questions and they are not provided, please report back to the guild immediately so we can go further to find out why these things are not there. So it becomes a union issue. We have done all of this. They're in the Constitution. We just need members to tap and say, this is our code of conduct, and this is how we operate as actors. This is not how we operate as Nollywood, as actors, because we're supposed to be working with employers whom we should be able to tell our own code of conduct. So I promise you, it's going to get better because it's something that is continuing. Why? Because before my leadership, a whole lot of these things were not in place. It was when I came to power, then my administration began to look into all of these areas, create more visibility for the Actors Guild, and then begin to push for different kinds of legislative advocacy. Some of things I've mentioned to you now, some of them were contained in the Roman Treaty, some were contained in the Chinese Treaty. We are working to see how we domesticate all of these treaties so they will become something that becomes law also, passed from the National Assembly. So an actor will know that he is safe being a member of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, carrying his card as a member of Actors Guild of Nigeria. And all of this partnership we're creating in different countries is also a way of showcasing the real actors from Nigeria in the public, in the global scene. Because if you look at the film, Wakanda Forever, if you have watched that film, you'll see that this film is an original story of Africa. And then a Nigerian writer, though an American Nigerian writer, that's Lemdi Okorafor or something, she contributed to that story. So if you look at it, Marvel Studios, who produced that film, ought to have given 2 major roles to Nollywood, since they know also they were coming here to make blockbuster. But it didn't happen. They brought people from Guyana, different areas, to come and begin to depict African accent. And remind you, in that film also, we had a cast who was answering General Okoye. So you can imagine where they targeted to get to. Now that brings me home to why, one of the reasons why Marvel Studios, of course, didn't consider using a Nollywood actor. It is probably because they do not know any Nollywood actor. Why? So I now said, okay, we have to put a program together we call the AGN International Festival, where is an actors festival where we showcase the film reels of our actors to international casting agencies. We've had the first edition in Miami in 2023, had the second edition in Los Angeles last year, 2024, and during the program, we had a twining relationship discussions, more plannings with the Screen Actors Guild of America, SAG-AFTRA. It was a very official and platform, even signed an agreement with the 2B platform So we began to see how by this third edition that's coming up this year in Los Angeles around November, we push more of our stars to that platform to discuss with global casting agencies. So when such film comes in the future, the agencies will remember, we have one actor from Nigeria, he can fit in here, fit in there. Then we begin to score a very global big point for Nollywood. If not, the Nollywood industry will just go the way it's going. Because earlier, before Nollywood came to be, we had the likes of Olu Jacob playing in big foreign movies, either because they were living abroad. Now, what happens if you're living in Nigeria and you have starred in over 250 movies? What happens to you having a big break? The highest any actor can earn in Nigeria, as I speak with you now, is 10 million naira. And I bet you there are not more than 2 or 3 people that can hit that amount of money. And of course, maybe it was when Netflix was really big here. So we need to dare those international projects and be in them so that an ordinary actor who has become a star within the continent can hit it big, just like our music counterparts are doing. Hearing that Davido has one performance with so musician and all that helps hit up the prospects of that actor.
What an interesting plans you have. But then let's look at what people are saying. A lot of concerns have been raised, and part of those concerns is that the AGN, Actors Guild of Nigeria, is another toothless bulldog, in the sense that the Actors Guild of Nigeria does not carry out appropriate sanctions. The only time the Actors Guild of Nigeria has carried out a sanction was during, like you mentioned, during Junior Pope's death. And prior to that time, after that period, we've not seen practical sanctions. How will you react to these assertions that the Actors Guild is another toothless bulldog? Is it or is it not?
No, that of course comes from, that statement is from somebody who does not really study. You see, for me, principally as a president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, my major constituency is the actor himself. If an actor does not contravene the constitution of the guild, I cannot sanction him. Even if an actor beats up a producer, and the producer does not report to the Producers Guild, who in turn tells me that an actor beat him up, even if I hear it, I will close my ears. That's natural. But you see, we play in a field where we are trying to nurture an actor to behave well. But in that behaving well, we have an enclosed book that looks like the law for the actor. It is only when the actor contravenes this law that I will sanction. If not, I'll become mad in the street. I have over how many thousands of actors practicing in Nigeria. So I just wake up in the morning, I hear that somebody is crying somewhere. I sanction him for crying. And then somebody is fighting somewhere, I sanction. In a week, I would have sanctioned over 50 people. Is it not madness? So I advise people who are having this notion to, first of all, find out what are written in the books of what we're doing. And you must know that actors are entertainment people. Most actors don't really have time. They just go from one production to another production. The guild, what the guild does is to help the actor who doesn't have time manage what they are doing, but not as a manager, so to speak. We are trying to evolve to a point where positions of executives within the Actors Guild, only the president will be an actor. The rest will be employed people who will come just to do the job of secretary, do the job of DG as it's obtained in other enclaves. You understand? Then when you get that, you don't need, if I'm going somewhere, I need to pitch for the Actors Guild. I don't need to carry the stars that are my members, because the president has a document, and document is written Actors Guild of Nigeria. You don't need to ask me, where is RMD? Or where is Omotola? Or where is Kate Henshaw? No, you know they belong to this guild. So I'm here to pitch on behalf of the association. Because these people won't have the time to go around with you to pitch on anything. But that's where people make mistakes. So when the president appears in a meeting to discuss welfare or discuss insurance or discuss something, the company wants to use the faces of my members to boost their own visibility. And I say, no, that's not what we're here for. If you sign what we have and you need one of us, we'll know how to communicate to them to do this. Because if I bring them here and you use them to put up on your picture, you have stylishly used them to market your company.
What a way to go about all of this. It's quite interesting. But then, a lot of skit makers are springing forth in recent times. Are these also members of the Actors Guild of Nigeria?
Yes, they should be. In the global scene, there is nothing like skit makers. But in Nigeria, everything is possible. I've heard that some of them gathered and say they registered skit makers. You know what I mean? Like I told you, the laws of our country in some places still lacks different fundamentals. For the fact that you have a company, you just bring 5 people to CAC, you have registered. The only thing they check in CAC may be the name, if it does not clash, and they end it there. But you keep on having different kinds of registrations. If you come abroad and register a company, in 1 year you don't do business, they close you up, give away that name. By the time you come next year, you will not be there. So now I'm asking, if you're a performer, because Actors Guild is a performers guild, if you're a performer, you ought to be a member of the guild as a performer. Let me give you, comedians have a group. They didn't register it as a guild. Ali Baba is a member of Actors Guild of Nigeria, a very strong member, very supportive of my administration. But he is the one putting the comedians together. Do you understand the point? In most of our meetings, we have never had any meeting that he will tell you, no, don't you know we comedians, we have a guild. No, he understands that we are performers within the space of what we're doing. But it's just that we have a craft and want to protect our people from our own relationship. You know that Oke Bakassi is a member of the board of trustees of the Actors Guild. You understand the point? So the skit makers are supposed to be members of the guild. If they are not, advise them. Why you belong to your group as skit makers, if you're a performer, please endeavor to belong to Actors Guild of Nigeria, because tomorrow, if you have issues that demands that we should come in as a body, I'll first of all ask the state where you come from. Is he your member in this state? And they say no, we will not be able to show.
At this point, how correct is it to say that the government have not been supportive to the Nigerian Actors Guild?
Well, I will not say correct, because one, the government does not support an individual association within the creative space.
Even though the government have come out to say that they are more interested in the creative economy, and supporting the creative space.
The creative space involves everybody. I just came back from South Africa for the International Labour Organization workshop, which says a more decent work environment. It might interest you to know that we were just about 2 Nigerians at that conference. Myself and one other person from the employers union or something. Now, the creative sector embodies all of these people, both craft people, both paintings and all of that. Then, when the creative economy, the minister who is doing very well for government, and this is the first time, I must say it, the first time the government is setting out a ministry for the creatives in Nigeria. And so far, so good. The minister is on point. Now, what we need as members of the creative ministry is to tap from all the things that are on the table. We have the IDICE fund. We have the other fund again from Providence Bank, where you can access. Now, what do you need to do? Build up your own business to the level at which you can assess what government has put in place. You go and assess. The Actors Guild does not need a direct support from government because we're already part of the creative industry. If I'm doing something in Abuja now and I invite the minister will come because she knows I am part of the creative ministry. Do you understand? So it would be wrong to say that the government has not supported the Actors Guild. No, no, no. We cannot single Actors Guild. If the government is not doing well for the creative ministry, we will say that they are not doing well. But once they are doing well to the creative ministry, then I am part of beneficiary. If I have not benefited, two things may be involved. Maybe I have not gone to benefit, or I played the normal Nigerian lifestyle, whereby you know you have food to eat, but you want to go and eat the food until they bring it to start feeding you, or they now call you, come, your food day here, come and eat. But already, the government, I must tell you, no matter how rough the economy is, if there's any ministry or any sector that has benefited or has seen government impact, I think my industry should be one of them.
All right. That's not a campaign for the government, by the way. I believe it's your personal opinion.
It's my opinion.
All right, so let's look at, just before I let you go, because our time is fast spent, I know you have other engagements even this evening. But then let's look at the fact that most times, even within the AGN has become more of a reactive organization than a proactive organization, in the sense that most times we don't get to see the AGN come out with more proactive steps in terms of training and retraining of actors that are going to be on the field. We don't get to hear that AGN is conducting one seminar or symposium or this and that everywhere in order to prepare the actors for becoming a better person, first to himself and then to the society. Let's look at all of this. I might not be correct, but how correct is it that the AGN is more of not being proactive?
Honestly, you're not correct.
Okay.
Because at state chapter levels, there are trainings every other time. And these trainings, Zakoji, Shegu Arinze, these are people that have been training. But you know, at the national level, we don't do most of what you're saying. Our own is to pursue policy, is to seek more legislative advocacy to see where we're being trampled upon for us at the national level. The state chapters are the ones that handle all of this training. Any day you see national body trying to say we're having training, you know, all of those trainings that happens in Lagos, Enugu, Delta, Bayelsa, we all get signals that this training are happening, because for them to use the stars that I just mentioned, I'll have to be the one to reach out to them to say, look, you have to go to Delta for this training. It's not something you have to ask for money and whatever. There may be from national level, we'll find a way to sort out your logistics to go. We are everly proactive if it's in terms of training. What we make you probably mention this reactive nature of the guild may be probably as a result of Virginia Pope's death and whatever. But let me tell you something. Like I told you, we are just coming out from an industry that was started by private individuals and gradually began to gain prominence. Then people who joined the industry joined without a direction of where they were going. What began to propel them were the proceeds. Today now you see what YouTube is doing. Majority of the actors are being propelled by the money from YouTube, that even if you tell them to come and sit down and listen to something that will be useful to them, they will look at you from, it's like you're mad. We are talking about our YouTube film and you are invited not to sit anywhere. But when that person goes to that YouTube film location and has a problem, he comes back to you for solution. Fine. So we are still pushing people to understand why it's important, why you are practicing your craft. Ensure that the guild that you belong to does not lack or does not miss you from what you ought to do.
Dr. Emeka, just before I let you go, let me become personal on you. Rumor has it that Dr. Emeka is coming out for political appointment and a political engagement. How correct is this?
No, 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 no. You see, for me, I do not see leadership as an ambition for me. That's why everything I do in AGN, I do them for the passion I have for impact. I tell you.
So you are saying invariably we're not going to see posters of Dr. Emeka for governor, for senator, for House of Reps.
So understand,
all right.
I'm coming somewhere. What I mean by ambition is that if I'm called upon, I will come because I will feel that the people who called on me probably have seen what I have done in leadership. That's what I see leadership as. For me, it has to be impact. The impact I'm making is what is making me move. I don't listen to what people are saying. I'm not able to recount my successes as AGM president until I leave office. People have come to me, no, you need to do third term. Let's find a way. I say, no. I have better place that God is preparing for me. So why should I use going for third term of AGM presidents to come and spoil what God is planning for me?
Well, let me say that stylishly telling us that you're not coming out for campaigns and also elections. No. All right. Well, I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Emeka Rollas, for being part of the show this evening. Well, viewers, this is how far we can go this evening. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk more on the desk. Please go nowhere. The desk continues in a moment.